What's up, guys? Today I want to do my thoughts on Uncharted 4.
I am a man of fortune, and I must seek my fortune. So, are you ready to seek your fortune?
Okay, y'all, so Uncharted 4, I meant to do this video a long time ago, but I just got busy, okay? Life happens, right? Better late than never. So Uncharted 4 is obviously the fourth installment of the Uncharted series. The first three were on PlayStation 3. Great series, by the way. Extremely good series. If you ever had any doubts about it, on the fence about it, go play them. Absolutely go play them. If you have the PlayStation 4, they have the Uncharted collection. It's the first three games on PlayStation 4, so that's in HD. Looks freaking amazing. I love this series personally. I know a lot of people out there love this series. I can't say enough good things about it, but Uncharted 4, that's what we're focusing on in this video. Alright, so there may be a few spoilers in here. I'm going to try not to spoil anything too much as far as surprises and plot lines, things like that. I'll give you an overall synopsis of the story right now. But if you haven't played the game, I'm not going to give away too much. So basically, you're Nathan Drake again, and you've retired from treasure hunting. So you have gone legit. You're working for a company that's I guess a salvage or a wreckage recovery company. So something dies in the ocean, let's say, they go down, and there's actually a chapter in the game where you go down and you recover some wreckage. So that's what you're doing. You're being legit. Well, with this game, there's some introduction of some new characters. One of those being Drake's brother. He has a brother named Sam. So he comes in and says, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I need your help." Drake's like, "Well, I can't do it. I promised Elena," he's just married to her now, and he decides to do it anyways because his brother's going to help him out, like most of us probably would. And from there, the hijinks ensue. So I'm going to break down this game on many different levels and categories. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and so on and so forth. So I'm sure there's gameplay footage going on right here, right now. So you can look at that, look at me, or I don't know, don't look at me, watch the game, because that's what this is about. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about this game, this is the first thing I noticed actually, were the environments. The level design and the environments were fantastic. The detail, and that's really what I want to focus on here, is the detail in things like the age of the buildings, the cracks in the sidewalks, the tree swaying in the wind, the underwater scene is probably one of the best I've ever seen in video games, period. And I've been gaming for 30 years now, so it's ridiculous the way the plant life moves in the water and the way the animals move in the water is just, I don't want to use the word perfect here. You're going to hear me try to find another word for perfect throughout this video. So there's a spoiler for you. I think this game was freaking amazing. But you know, the backgrounds, I caught myself at points just standing and rotating the camera and just looking at the environments around me, the other players, or sorry, characters in the game, the NPCs, if you will, and the detail in buildings and in the market stands and animals. That's another thing. There's animals hiding in and around this game. Turtles, monkeys, stupid monkeys. There's just, it's man, I don't want to say too much because I'm trying not to do as little spoilers as possible here, but the environments, the level design is bar none. There's not many games out there that can compete with this when it comes to that at all. I think it's probably the best I've ever seen, honestly. All right, now from the environments, let's go into the music and the sound. It's a orchestra soundtrack, if you will. You know, the gunfights, you're gonna hear the orchestras, the stringed instruments getting louder and getting more dramatic, just like you would in a movie. This game very much plays like a movie, in my opinion. and then once you clear a stage of its enemies, it goes back to silence. It goes back to calmness, if you will, with the music. And then from there, you have the ambient sounds of your environment, things around you. If you're in the jungle, you're going to hear birds. You're going to hear, monkeys in the distance. You're going to hear things like that. If you're in a city environment, you're going to hear people talking, the hustle and bustle of the town going on, and all that kind of stuff. It's really great. It really keeps you. That kind of thing keeps you in the moment in the game, if you will, in my opinion. So when things are getting hectic, the music is telling you, okay, this is an important scene, this is an important gunfight scene, whatever the case may be, and it's not easy, it's going to be hard, especially once you start playing on the higher difficulties. So here's this music that's just really, going to pound on you and make you sweat, for lack of a better word. So the music, the sound, all that, 2 thumbs up for sure. Definitely in my book. It's not perfect. Another word for perfect. So you guys fill in the blank right there. Okay, now let's jump to the character models. The character models, they move smoothly. It's top of line technology as far as the mouth movements and eye movements and things like that. In my opinion, some of the mouth movements in games today are still not perfect by any means, and I'm not saying not perfect like fill in the blank. They're just not perfect by any means. I think that definitely needs to be worked on. Facial expressions, games usually have down pretty good. This is one of those games that has it down pretty well. Eyes, eye movement, things like that. That is phenomenal. Just a few issues with mouth movement, but I can't really fault Uncharted for that when it's like that in a lot of games these days. Along with the character models, the wardrobe is appropriate for the environment you're in. Not only that, you're going to see the sweat stains. You're going to see, when they get wet, you're going to see them get wet. You're going to see the dirt. You're going to see, the facial hair on the characters looks really, really, really good. Again, in this day and age, it's 2016. There's no reason for them not to look good, in my opinion, when that's what you're going for. If you're going for a cartoony look, it should look cartoony. When you're going for a realistic look like Uncharted, it should look realistic, and it does. So we're going to stay on the characters for a minute here. Let's go to the voice acting. The voice acting, overall, extremely, extremely, extremely well done. Okay, you're going to start with Drake, played by Nolan North. Nolan North is pretty much legendary when it comes to voice acting, especially in games and cartoons these days. He nails it. He nails the right amount of smart-assness with serious when he has to be. But Nolan North gives Nathan Drake his character and his personality. So he continues to do that. He's been the same guy since Uncharted 1. Most of these voice actors, actually, the returning characters are the same actors from the beginning of the Uncharted series, basically. So Nolan North, 2 thumbs up, hands down, best in the game. Victor Sullivan, played by Richard McGonigal. Something like that. McGonigal. Again, he was Sully in previous Uncharted games. He's the wise sage, if you will, kind of the Jiminy Cricket to Nathan Drake's wildness, I guess. Definitely tries to play the father role in this game, just like the other games. And Richard McGonigal, he does this character perfect. He's got that older man voice, if that makes sense. So you can tell you're speaking to someone who's in their 60s, 70s versus someone like Drake who's in his 30s. Maybe at this point early 40s, but you can definitely tell a difference in the voices in there. Okay, Troy Baker plays Sam. Troy Baker is Sam is Drake's older brother in this game. Again, there's nothing bad about Mr. Baker's performance. He makes me believe the character. That's really all I can say. All these, for the most part, I'm going to say the same thing about everyone in this game, including Laura Bailey. She plays Nadine. She gives that character that strong, confident, black woman vibe, and she nails it perfectly. The voice has to fit the attitude of the character, and she definitely makes that happen here. A newcomer to the series, Warren Cole. He plays Rafe. Now, this is the best new character in this game, in my opinion. He's an asshole. He's definitely the antagonist here. He's the bad guy, and Warren Cole plays that to a T perfectly. Like, you really believe that this guy is, well, just a dick. Because that's how he's supposed to play that character, and he does it really, really well. Emily Rose plays Elena, who is Drake's love interest, and she's been Elena in all versions of Uncharted. And I gotta be honest, this is the one part of the voice acting where I thought it was subpar. And I don't really understand why, because I can tell you why it was subpar. I don't know, in my opinion, why her performance was subpar, because in other versions of Uncharted, I had no problem with her. I think she did it really well, but she seemed really robotic, unemotional at times. There's a part where she's kind of getting on to Drake because he lied to her about going on this adventure with Sam, and she's just like, if there was a problem, you should have told me. We should have talked about it. Like, there's no emotion in her voice. Because of that, the voice acting is not perfect. That one performance, I would give that overall voice acting like a 9 out of 10. That she just really didn't do it for me. And is it her fault? I'm going to say no. I'm going to blame the director on this one, because he should have said, cut, let's do it a different way, let's do another take. Again, in my opinion, the Elena character was lifeless, emotionless, robotic, and almost to the point of unenjoyable, honestly. And I'm not just being an ass, because everybody else on this cast list was great, was phenomenal, was perfect, in my opinion. But it's that one thing, and it is what it is, I guess. So some things that really stood out for me, other than what I've already talked about, the quick time events, which I believe were in other Uncharted games, but they're more prominent in this game. I'm okay with quick time events. I was first introduced to quick time events with Resident Evil 4, actually. So I'm okay with it. It keeps you on your toes, it keeps you engaged, it keeps you paying attention. And another thing was the way the story was written, the way it was put together, the way the flashback scenes tied back into the current day scenes. You literally could take this and make it a movie, and it'd be really hard to screw that one up. I know a lot of video games turned into movies are usually trash, but it'd be really hard to mess this one up, in my opinion. So one last thing here before I give you my overall rating or score is the online features. The online play is, for what it is, we'll call it charming, I guess. It's definitely not Call of Duty, it's not Battlefield. It damn sure ain't no GTA Online. It's small teams and small maps, and I think there's something charming, again, about that. It's not too chaotic. I think it's like 5-man teams, 6-man teams, or something like that. The replay value with the online, in my opinion, is not very high at all. I did it to get the trophies, and then I was pretty much done at that point. But this is one of those games where it's not known for its online. They're just trying to tap into that resource, I guess, or that different angle to try to keep people more interested and more engaged in playing the game a little bit longer. And I can appreciate that. But for an online experience, if you're looking for something mind-blowing, this is not it. I'm not gonna deduct a whole lot of points from the game or from my final score because the online is not that good, because it's not an online game. I think it's just an extra feature to go along with this fantastic game that they made. So that being said, man, I think I'm gonna give this game out of 10 a 9 easy, and it's only because of the online and because of Emily Rose's poor performance with her voice acting. Again, those aren't huge deductions in my overall score, but they have to be taken into consideration and they have to be deducted nonetheless. So I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. Almost perfect. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say game of the year. If it doesn't happen, I would be shocked. So if you're asking this guy, should I play Uncharted 4? Absolutely, you should play Uncharted 4. If you have the means, pick it up. Is this one of those games that's going to make you run out and buy a PlayStation 4? Maybe not, but you're definitely missing out if you don't play it.
There's got to be another way. I need you on this one.
there it is, guys. There's my opinions on Uncharted 4. Sorry this video took so long to come out, but I just couldn't get these thoughts out of my head. I had to put them on camera no matter how long it's been. So it's a good, go pick it up and let me know what you guys think of it in the comments here. Thank you.